Hey, it's time to dish with D. That's me. It's Friday, coming at you with my weigh-in and meeting topic du jour a day early. Had to get weighed in today because I will not be here to get weighed in on Saturday, so I got weighed in on Friday instead. Day early. I know last week we had a little gain, well, a big gain, I'm not kidding, 2.4. And we had a discussion about my eating patterns. And, you know, I felt like I was a little bit surprised because I felt like I didn't eat. It was a bad week with the dog and just kind of, you know, not feeling, I wasn't like I was eating. I wasn't eating, that was the problem. And I talked about it last week saying, I don't feel like I ate enough. And this week I tried to make a point of eating more. I was tracking calories for several days to see where I fell, and I fell below my calories. If you didn't see that video I did, I will link that I discussed about not eating enough, because it sounds weird to say, you're not eating enough. But honestly, it could happen because now, I, by no stretch of the imagination, am a person who works out hard, and I say that. But I am burning more calories than I did when I didn't. So if you're not eating enough, you could be, you know, robbing your body, and your body's just not going to let go. So I definitely upped my app back to maintenance mode, which gave me 5 more points. Instead of 23, I have 28. Now, if you remember, when I hit goal and I put myself right on maintenance and gave myself those 5 points, and I was on it for a year, and I was up and down. I was never over. I was always like down, down, up, up. I never went above my goal. I was always around it or below it. And then Christmas came and I put on a few pounds, as I do every Christmas, which is totally within my right. And then I decided I wanted to get 10 pounds off, and I put myself back in weight loss mode. Probably the biggest mistake I ever made. I guess in hindsight, I know, you know, that I guess I just wasn't eating enough. So ever since then, I have been above my goal or around my goal since January. 156, 157, 158, 157, 158, 159, 160. And then once Easter came, I just went above 160 and have still been there. So it's interesting. So I took a hard look at what I was eating, and I upped my calories and I upped my points. Now, before I upped my calories, I tracked my calories, and I was about 350 to 400 below what I should be for weight loss. Because we had the discussion about where you should fall to maintain, and then you take 400 away, you will see, again, you're not going to lose a pound a week at my weight, but you will see a steady, slow loss if you keep to those calories. I know it's confusing. It is confusing when you think about it. That's why I do points, because points aren't that confusing. So instead of double tracking, because that just wasn't going to work, because it's hard to double track. I always say, I give you guys credit. So I decided to add my maintenance points back in. I figured 5 points is going to be a few hundred calories. So I did that. So I went up to 28 points. And I added things like, instead of having a 0 point amount of cheese, I'd have 1 or 2 points amount of cheese. Instead of having a 0 point amount of pepperoni, I'd have 1 point or 2 points worth of pepperoni. Instead of having a 0 point amount of, just went in and out of my head, like nut butters, I added a tablespoon of nut butter. You know, normally I wouldn't take 3 points for a tablespoon of nut butter. Or I would have 2 servings of powdered peanut butter instead of 1. So instead of using 1 point, I would use 2 points. So I didn't go eat an extra bag of chips. I didn't go eat some extra cookies. I didn't eat things like I ate nuts and seeds and cheeses and dairies. Maybe I had a little extra yogurt that day. Normally I'm very lenient with my tablespoons, but maybe I had a little bit more. So I filled in with good things. So how did the scale? I lost 2.6. Interesting. I lost the 2.4 I gained last week, plus 0.2. Eating more. So, but like I said, eating more good things versus eating, and I said this before about certain plans allowing you, when you have all these extra points, you tend to eat things that aren't always the best choices. I'm not sitting there telling you not to have it. I'm just sitting there telling you not to have it every day, because I don't think our bodies can process that kind of food all the time. And you heard me say it, no food, repeat, no food is inherently bad. It's the amount of that food that we eat. So, and then, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you could have something that's not the best. I wouldn't have it all the time, but I do have stuff. You see what I eat? Come on. So, went to my meeting. We had a sub today, which was a bit sad. I wanted to see Kathleen, but the recipe of the week is skillet, apple, and raisin pancake. You don't like raisins, but you know. But that's it. And as usual, it is 7 points on green, 6 on blue and purple. There is regular low-fat milk. There is regular sugar. So you definitely could lower the points on this. I would take out the raisins because I just don't like them, you know. But I like that. I mean, it's something different, a skillet pancake. I'm not giving a skillet pancake 6 points for a slice though. I'm sorry. I don't think it'll fill me. Honestly, it's no transparency here. So I will link, these are Weight Watcher app recipes. If you don't have the app, you can't get the recipe. I can put the link there, but you can't get to it. So much for doing that. So what does Kristen Fisher have to talk to us about today? Ready to become sugar savvy? Sweet. Oh, try this. I love when she says that. Come up with a plan to decrease added sugars. Now we're talking added sugars, not natural sugars that naturally occur in food, because some things are naturally sweet. Fruit is naturally sweet. Some vegetables are naturally sweet. So those foods, we're talking about the added ones we put in. Choose one strategy to help you eat less sugar, less added sugar. Now, if you go in your app, now she showed us today, when you go and you scan a food, you know, it gives you the points, but scroll down, there's a scroll, it tells you the portion size, which a lot of us don't know it's there, and it tells us the nutritional information. It tells you the sugars and the added sugars. So if you're a person that's very conscious of that, it is right on your app. Again, the app does a lot that we do not utilize. So she pointed that, which I already knew, but some people are like, oh, I didn't know it did that. Because, and I don't blame people because Weight Watchers is point gain oriented. So you're basically worried about points. You don't care what's in it. You're just worried about those points fit into my day. And sometimes, I hate to say it, but it's not always about the points. For some things. All right, here are a few good ideas to get started. Feel free to come up with your own. Oh, Kristen. Flavor boosters. Go with non-fat plain yogurt and sweeten it with berries. Sprinkle a dash of cinnamon or nutmeg to amp up the flavor of plain oatmeal. Those are all natural flavors. And there's natural sweeteners, like there's honey, there's agave, there's dates that are naturally inherently sweet, and they're natural. It's not like they've been processed, they've been chemically made. I mean, you're going to pay more points for them, yes, but if you're a person that wants to eat less processed, less chemical, less created foods, that would be your sweetener of choice. Give still carbonated water a spa makeover with mint, ginger, lime, lemon, or orange. I do love a squeeze of orange in some things. I'm not a huge orange lover, but in a glass of tea, you need to put some orange in your tea, and thank me later. Sugar reducers. Simplify your nut butter game and pick one that only contains nuts and salt. Read your label. You know, it's basically what they're telling you, because a lot of them have added sugars, they have added this, they added that. You'll see peanuts and salt. You don't want anything else if that's what you choose to eat. Become a master granola maker. Nuts, seeds, spices, let your taste buds lead the way. I love a homemade granola. And yes, seeds and nuts and are inherently high in points. They're fats, but they're good fats. And I'm hoping the new program, you know, if we're picking our own 0-point foods, you know, mine are going to be nuts and seeds are on the top of my list, because I'm not eating a crap ton of nuts and seeds. You know, I use my teaspoon. Maybe I'll do 2 teaspoons, but I'm not going to do like a half a cup and not count it. You have to be realistic when you're not counting something. You just can't have whatever you want and call it a day. If you're struggling, that could be it. Skip the scoop of sugar and bake with pumpkin puree, applesauce, mashed banana, and pureed butternut squash. Now, I know a lot of us already know that, but yeah, they're inherently naturally sweet, except the pumpkin. I need to add some monk fruit to that bad boy. I don't think pumpkin is sweet. No. Butternut squash, I agree. Yes. Pumpkin, no, it needs some. It needs help. No, bananas, the darker the banana, the sweeter the banana. The blacker it is, the more natural sugar comes out. So I like to get mine as black as they can before it actually gets like some mold on it. But yeah, the blacker, and it just almost, it's like, but it's so sweet. It is amazing. So yeah, it goes up in higher in sugar content, but it's natural sugar, so it's still banana. Applesauce, I think, is more sweeter than pumpkin, even unsweetened applesauce. I do find, so I wouldn't have put pumpkin on that list because I find pumpkin needs sweetener. Smarter swaps. Ask your barista to use half the amount of syrup in your usual flavored coffee drink. You can do quarter pumps, half pumps. You don't have to do a full pump. Somebody said, well, how do you know they're doing it? You can taste the difference. If you're used to a full pump, you'll know the difference. And sometimes a half pump is good enough. We don't realize it's good enough until we do it. It's like me with my pancake. You know, the mix tells you to use a half cup. I did a third of a cup and it was quite enough. So sometimes doing less, you should really experiment with, because it could be enough. It could be. Like sweet cereals, blend an unflavored plain cereal like bran or cornflakes for half and half situation. Cereal's a tough one. It's a tough one because those bran flakes, I don't know, I can't get in that. And like the puffed wheat and the puffed rice, they just have no flavor. You could add them to cereal, but it's just gonna make your other cereal taste bad. Honestly, you know what I do to puffed wheat and puffed rice? Is I got this from a girl on Instagram, WWG for life, Wendy. You spray your pan with butter flavored Pam, or you know, I keep it with nut butter, and you put your cereal in your 1 cup and you toast it. And as it's toasting, you spray it with the butter and you put a little bit of cinnamon and you let it toast. And I added a little bit of, you know, a little monk fruit on top. Can I tell you, it's amazing. It needs help. And I wouldn't recommend a half and half because it's just going to ruin your other half cereal and you're not going to eat it. You'll leave the meal going, you know, that's half of our problem. If we're unsatisfied, we're going to look for something else. That's the nature of the beast. We have to eat food that satisfies us. That is why your friend here, me, does her mug cakes and her mini loaves, because it hits the note. I'm not looking for another piece of cake when I make that because it's perfect. But that half and half, it's not going to do it. I don't even think I'll be able to finish the bowl because that cereal will ruin the other cereal. And cereal for me isn't filling enough anyway. But yeah, no. Maybe you could toast it. And I used to do the toasted cereal as a snack instead of popcorn, or mixed in with popcorn as like a little trail mix kind of thing. Opting for a plant-based milk, looking for unsweetened or no sugar added on the package. You know, your girl's an unsweetened vanilla cashew or cashew girl. I don't honestly know the difference. I don't think I've ever had sweetened cashew milk or sweetened almond milk. I've always bought unsweetened. I have no idea what it even tastes like. When I taste it, I don't feel, I guess because I've always had it and I don't know what the other one tastes like. To me, it doesn't taste like it's unsweetened. And you're always adding it to something. I mean, so you're always putting something else in there. It's not like you're just drinking it. You're putting it in with something. I love to put it in my pancake mix instead of water because it doesn't cost you any points and it adds a little bit more bulk to it and creaminess. Create a plan to use the strategies you've picked. When, where, or how will you do it? Reflect on it. What worked well that you can stick with? What didn't you love? Okay, it's another strategy, but the first one was a bust. I guess it's finding sugar replacements that you like, you could afford, that don't hurt your belly. Some people have problems with certain types of sugar substitutes. Erythritol, there's maltodextrine. There's people that have, they get sick. Their bellies hurt, they get stomach problems. So yeah, you're not going to use them. But try to experiment at home, don't go to work, with different ones. I am a Lakanto. Now, mind you, it's monk fruit. But not all monk fruit is created equal. Just so you know, just because it says monk fruit doesn't mean it's 0 points. I learned that the hard way because I bought a cheaper brand of monk fruit. It had points. I guess because it's what it's derived from. But if you get the Lakanto, I only know that because that's the only one I buy. It's pure monk fruit and it is 0 points no matter how you use the whole bag. It's still 0 points. So make sure you scan the one you have and then scroll up, like Splenda. You know, Splenda is 0 points in packets, but when you have it in a cup, you have to count it. Not that it's a lot, but if you're thinking it's 0, you just need to be aware. And I've been trying a few different ones. I just got because you know I'm a Sucre and Gold girl. I've loved Sucre and Gold. It's just amazing brown sugar substitute. And it's a little bit pricey, and I can only get it online. Well, I found one, it's Truvia. I think it's a Truvia. It's in a haul that I did. I don't remember I get it at my local store. Again, it's certainly not cheap. I think it's $7.99 for like probably a pound or a pound and a half, but it's good. And that's the thing. I'm willing to pay the money if I enjoy it and it gives me the flavor that I need, because I tried the Swerve, didn't do anything for me. And remember, monk fruit golden is not brown sugar. It is like more like sugar in the raw. I do like it, but it's not brown sugar replacement. So if you're looking for a brown sugar replacement, Sucrin is probably my #1. If I could get it locally and it was a little bit more cheaper, I probably would stick with it. But right now I like the one I get at my local store, which is down the road. So I've been, I will link that video that I have that sugar substitute in case you want to go check that out. I think that is it. I don't know. Let's dive a little deeper. I didn't get to that part. We've said it before and we'll say it again. Every food on the table every food is on the table. When you're on WW, even if it contains sugar, by reducing added sugar is important in your weight loss and wellness journey. Natural sugar, a carb that is already in food, dairy, fruits, and vegetables. Remember, carbs turn into sugar. So when you're thinking, like if you're diabetic and stuff, that's why they're like coming up with this diabetic plan. It's twofold, because your carbs turn into sugar when they're processed, certain carbs. So it's really, really important to really get that under control. And like I said, there's no sugar that's inherently bad. Anything in moderation is fine. You just have to find what you can afford, what you like. Like I said, some people love Swerve. I don't care for it. I don't think it's sweet enough. But some people love it. Find what you like, find what you can afford, and find what you can get. And that's what you use. Even, like I said, or you don't even have to use sugar substitute. You can use regular sugar. It's all natural. Cane sugar has been a plant. Or you could use, like I said, agaves, honeys, dates, process the dates and put them in baked goods. A lot of people do that. They're natural. It's whatever is your pickle, and you run with it and you track it. Even more sugar, I think I said this, even more sugar was manually added into your food or drink. It's hiding in cookies, cakes. It could be in your favorite flavored milk and yogurts. Yes, if something is low fat, guaranteed it's higher in sugar. If something is fat free, there is more sugar in there because it's gonna taste like crap. And how do we get it to taste better? We make it sweet. And somebody said spaghetti sauce, and I'm going, no, you don't put sugar in your spaghetti sauce, please. I have a 0-point marinara that has no sugar in it, that is to die for. I remember to link that as well, because that is one of my all-time favorites. And it's easy. What do you need to make it sweet? Carrots. Yep, simple carrots. No, they're natural. They just simmer. If you don't like them, you can just take them out. You don't even have to eat them. My husband eats them, don't ask. He likes carrots, so he says, don't throw them out, I'll eat them. Hey, whatever floats your boat. So that is it for today, you know. I love my sugar, I love my cakes, I love my sugar substitutes too. But like I said, like she mentioned today at the meeting, that it's some people it affects their weight loss, it affects their body, and in some it doesn't. Some people, they just don't like what it stands for, the fake sugars. They're just, because you have your natural and you have your chemically made. It's a balance, you know. You have the ones you could afford and the ones that are a little bit more pricier. It's ever what your pocketbook could afford and what your body can tolerate. Anything in moderation is fine in my world. I don't overdo anything. That's the key. If you get nothing from this video, that no, anything in moderation is key. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed my weigh-in and meeting topic du jour. If you did, give this video a big old thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Know when I upload, when I go live. I go live Sunday night is my next live. You're welcome to come. We're talking everything, new plan, and 0-point foods. So I'll dish another day.